Here we go, another show. It's Sideline Sports. Got John Shear, Jake Malik, Dave DeRocher. I'm finally getting the name right.
Finally.
Kudos for me after like almost a year. Kind of scary. So before we go anywhere tonight, I'm going to start off by announcing we become the sports partners of NGBN, which is a new network. You can see it if you go to at Sideline Sports 1 on X to read all about it. We're very excited to be working with them. Phenomenal network. Make sure you watch our shows there. If you're not watching it somewhere else, you're watching it here. But they got plenty of great shows. You want to make sure you're downloading the app when it becomes available. Go to ngbn.tv and watch everything there. But another great week in sports, guys.
Well, depends on who you are.
I was saying it depends on who's talking, but sure.
Depends on who you are.
Hey, the Giants won. I'm good. We don't need to worry about anything else.
Yeah, probably would have preferred they lost. If I'm going to be honest with you, though.
I agree.
Well, I was at the Seahawks Rams game. So, other than that wasn't good. Nothing good.
Other than maybe the company you had.
It was kind of perfect because in my parlay that I won, I had the Seahawks plus 2.5. So them stopping the Rams on that last drive and just giving up that field goal, that was key. I wish they would have won. I was pulling for you. I knew you were there, but the parlay was good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, our field goal. That's the second game we've lost due to missed field goals. So that's never good.
No.
Yeah, it's not a fun feeling. Let's start with the Monday night game, which was probably the game of the year.
Oh yeah.
Philly going into Kansas City. The weather was horrible. It was pouring. There was no Taylor Swift sighting. She was unavailable for the game, but her man had a huge fumble. Huge fumble. Kansas City was driving with a chance to take the lead and put the game out of hand, and Travis Kelce fumbles, which is unlike him. But listening to, I was listening to Sports Talk today, which I haven't had a chance to do in a while. And listening to it, a lot of people were saying, Philly didn't win. Kansas City gave him the game. And the receivers on Kansas City, which we all agree are horrible. And if you don't, I know you're going to rethink that because I'm not going to allow you to have any other comments on that. Could it catch a cold if they got it?
They could have mine.
What? So first of all, how could anyone disagree that Philly didn't win that game? I don't understand the comments that Kansas City gave it to them.
Well, I'll tell you, Philly played Philly football. They ran the ball. They did enough to win. The only thing that kind of drove me nuts watching that game, if I hear the word Kelce one more time, it was like there's no other players on the freaking either team.
Yep.
I've never watched an offensive lineman pull and block on any other game ever. I mean, Hall of Famers, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer too.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit much because it kind of, for me, took away from what you said was a great football game. But I will say, though, Kansas City dropped. I mean, they made drops in key deals. They had a touchdown, bounced right off his hands. I mean, Mahomes placed it right where it had to be. And, last time I checked, if you're making a couple $1 million, you make that catch. Because I can assure you, if he caught a 3-yard out, he'd be pointing first down, and pointing at his name and what a big catch it was. But you got to make those catches because that's why you make, pro money is when you make pro catches.
Dave, the other thing that I have to mention, because you were talking about Kelce, they also wouldn't shut up about Taylor Swift. And I was totally with you. I was like, God, can we just talk about anybody else? Like, I felt like, not that Mahomes has to draw all the attention or Jalen Hurts has to draw all the attention, but like, I would have liked to have heard a little bit about how well they both played or how well DeAndre Swift, the other Swift, played, but nobody talked about that. It was all about Taylor Swift references or the Kelce brothers. And I was like, guys, it's cool. But Taylor Swift's not at the game. And there's a bunch of other guys, like you said.
There's the four other offensive linemen open in those holes. They're not just one guy blocking all 8 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
I get it. You know what, though? Here's the thing. You know what media does? They latch on to stuff that people care about that's endearing. And I have to tell you, I mean, those 2 cats are, they're fun to listen to. They're brothers that are at the top of they're both at the top of their game. I saw a funny meme where it showed what's the brother, the center, Jason? Is it Jason walking into the game? He's got a T-shirt and like cargo shorts on.
Yeah,
and it said the dad, and then it showed so Travis in his like leopard like 3/4 coat, just all decked, with just drip everywhere, just looking, and he was like the cool uncle, and like, they're perfect, man. They're really, I mean, it really is. I get it. It's fun to talk about, but people need to realize that these guys, they get paid millions of dollars to announce these games. You need to realize we get tired of hearing about that, man. We're here to watch a game, but we're here to watch all the players in a great game.
Well, don't listen to a Tony Romo, Buffalo Bills game because he drills all over Josh Allen. He talks about nothing but Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But by the way, Valdez-Scantling gets paid. He has a 3-year, $30 million contract, and he can't catch a football. And then there was a video after the game that showed he used to do the same thing to Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay. And that's partially why they got rid of him, is because he can't catch open passes as a receiver.
It's not like Mahomes really overthrew it either. He had it right on his hands. And I think, Dave, I mean, I know you played the offensive line, but I think you probably heard your coaches say this God knows how many times. But I was always told, if you can catch you get your hands on the football, you should be able to catch it. That was kind of the rule. Like if your hands are on it, should be a catch. And that's, to me, like at that high level, it's not like the defender got his hands in there. It was, he had the separation. He had his hands on the ball. He just didn't bring it in. And that, to me, like that's, you can't do that. If the defender gets their hands in there, totally excusable. I would give him a pass all day, but it didn't.
It's not just him. Himself. It was
Justin
Watson.
I'm just picking on. We're just talking about that play.
Don't just do that play. Justin Watson on the 4th down play.
No, I don't.
That ball between 3 defenders hit him right in the hands. I get it was a really tough catch between 3 defenders, but that was a long first down to try and keep the game alive, and he hit him right in the hands, right past the first down line, a dot. And Justin Watson dropped it. So,
I wanted to add, John or Dave or JB, maybe remind me, but I think I recall seeing Travis Kelce also had a pretty big drop. Did he not? He had a ball like that was right in his hands, and he was just thinking about turning upfield. So he, instead of getting the first down, getting the catch, right? That I'm not making that up. That was Kelce, not Watson.
That happens to every receiver.
But I'm just saying it's another play. It's another.
It's like Kelce to do that. Kelce's usually pretty strong-handed.
If we're going to talk about one guy, we got to talk about them all. And unfortunately,
it was
one of those games from Mahomes. Like he played so well, he just couldn't catch a break. And he's the one guy I would not
around him. The pieces around him are not the same as they were.
No, not even close. And so that's why I've and that's why I took the Eagles in that game. Hey, so. What's the deal with the push tush? How come they do it? Well, I know why. I mean, Jalen Hurts is just a stud. He squats like 800 pounds.
600 pounds.
Yeah, he's like that strong for a quarterback, and they've got the best center in the game. But it takes more than 2 to get 3 yards on every freaking crack when they do that. It's almost unstoppable, and they load it up. I mean, they have literally like 5 or 6 guys over the 3 linemen in the center.
Yeah.
Well, they pick him up. Like, they literally pick him up by his ass and throw him forward.
They shove him over.
2 yards. Like
I've never seen anything like it, and they just keep doing it, and no one's been able to stop it.
No. I want to know.
And they know it's coming.
I'm sure they flash the odds. And I know they have odds on how many guys a guy sneezes. But I wonder what the odds are on that play being successful. It's got to be 80, 90%. I've never seen it stopped.
Well, Dave. Do you mean for regular teams or the Eagles? Because if you're talking about regular teams, it's not very high. For the Eagles, it's probably like 80, 90%. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying for the Eagles, the people that they came up with it, and they're unstoppable with it. I've seen other teams completely botch it. I mean, really, frankly,
yes.
How can you botch that?
Well, I was watching, and shocker, because told these guys before, I'm not a big fan of the Manning cast, but on my NFL Plus app, you can switch between broadcasts. So I was watching the Manning cast about the tush push, and they said basically, and they had a really good point. Basically, what the Eagles do is they treat third down as though it's second down. Because if they get to 3rd and 5, they're like, well, if we could just get it to 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, well, we can go brotherly shove and we're not going to be stopped. So it's interesting that they turn 3rd down into 2nd down, and it's basically like they have an extra down every drive. Because it's like, well, as long as we get close enough for the brotherly shove, you can't stop us. So we can treat 3rd down as we don't got to get a first.
You know what it is, John?
But
they don't have an extra down. They don't have an extra down. They just utilize all 4 downs in ways that other teams won't. But I know what you mean.
Like nobody else is.
That's just good coach. That's great coaching. That's what
nobody
it is.
Else capable of.
But that's all good until it happens in an important game and they get stopped when they think about going for it at the 30, and they turn it over there.
But
what happens in the playoffs?
The Dolphins tried to stop them. Important game, nope. Chiefs tried to stop them. Important game, nope. Like everybody this year has tried to stop them in an important game, and it's just like, no, you can't stop us. It doesn't matter who you put in front of us. We're just going to dig into the dirt, and you can't. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to happen eventually. So
unfortunately, they don't play the Browns this year, which I would have loved because the Browns have probably, I don't know, the best, maybe second.
Are you going to line Myles Garrett up in front of Jason Kelce?
Well, no, but the whole defensive line as a whole is really great. I would have loved to have seen that matchup because they've been phenomenal this year. Things I think about. Unfortunately, they don't though.
It's interesting. So did anyone happen to hear the comments by the Chargers coach over the weekend after their loss to Green Bay?
Can't say I did. I was working.
Okay, so he got interviewed after the game. So if anyone doesn't know what happened, the Chargers scored with about a few minutes to go. And Green Bay, which with Jordan Love, their offense is horrible. They got them to 3rd and long, over 15. They got a first down, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. And that offense is really bad. So they had asked, the coach of the Chargers, we're not even going to name because he doesn't even deserve to be named with as bad as his defense was. You blame the defense for the loss. And he just went off how, it's not the defense. They're doing their job. We're coaching them well. They don't need to do anything. They're doing what they need to do. You let the Packers, whose offense is one of the worst in the NFL, drive the field and get a game-winning touchdown. Your defense is not doing well.
Is he talking about the Chargers defense?
Yes.
Okay, I told you guys I was at that game. They got gutted. like they were standing still. It was literally, it wasn't like one play. It was play after play. I'm going, why are those guys like standing around watching? It's like they frankly weren't even trying. Half the defense was just kind of like just standing up with the guy, doing a little dance, and watch him just run down the field. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that explains that coach thinks he's doing a good job. Yeah.
The Chargers defense has been bad for years.
It's crazy. They have a defensive-oriented head coach that
and he thinks they're doing well, John.
He thinks they're doing great. He thinks everything is sunshine and rainbows.
I don't think I've ever seen this talented of a defense that is this bad.
I mean, if he would have said their effort has been great, we just haven't been executing, that might be a different statement.
No,
maybe that's their effort's not even great.
But if he would have tried to make that statement, that's a better statement to make than our defense is playing great. When on paper, to just forget the game, just statistically, that cannot even be argued that they're playing well. Like they're bottom of the league. That they're terrible. I don't know. Just very, I guess, tone deaf statement. I don't even know how to describe.
Listen, it sounded like a guy who had his foot outside the door already, because there's no way he's keeping his job.
Right.
That's Kellen Moore's job all day.
All he had to do was say, like Jake said, that they're putting in effort. We just have to fix some of the problems and we'll be okay. But no, you can't do that. Can't can't say you're doing great when you let Jordan Love drive the field and get a game-winning score after you just took the lead. That's not acceptable.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing. That's
Well,
a
I tell you,
problem.
I mean, we're seeing coordinators getting the axe, because those are the first ones to get the blame for bad performance. I think one of the other topics right is Canada from the Steelers getting axed.
Oh,
Dave's going over the border already.
Yeah,
he deserved it.
Well, I'm just saying,
It's horrible.
and it's funny to see the trickle down theory. Or maybe trickle up. I don't know. It starts with the coordinators, and the head coach is trying to keep their jobs by putting the blame.
He's a scapegoat. He's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, I mean,
The Chargers, Brandon Staley deserves to be fired. Like, he's the head coach, deserves to be fired. In the case of the Steelers, Matt Canada, he was the offensive coordinator. He deserved to be fired. It does depend, but I know what you mean, Dave. I mean, one of my best friends is a Steelers fan. I talk to him every single week. We go over the game every single week. We watch I end up watching every play because of him. The team's so bad on offense. It's painful.
Yeah.
And he and I have been joking, like, there's no way they're going to fire him. They should, but they won't. I'm so proud of Mike Tomlin right now because he's took full ownership. Like, no, I fired him. I made the decision. I didn't even talk to ownership about this. Like, I made the decision. The offense is not good. We need to fix something. Like, he earns a lot of points in my book. Like, I know he's a great coach, but great leaders do what needs to be done sometimes, and I respect the hell out of him for just going like, no, it has to be done, and I don't care if management likes it or not. I am making a decision on my staff.
Well, he's Mike Tomlin.
Really
They're not going to get rid of Mike
but
Tomlin.
But it doesn't. But you could have a guy like Andy Reid who might not do that, not because
that's
he
another
won't,
Hall of Famer. No, name a guy that's not a Hall of Famer.
But he might say, "I'm going to go respect my office and just talk to them about it," which isn't right or wrong. So I'm just saying that, like, good on Mike Tomlin for having.
He had to do something.
Of course, but he could have said to management, "We need to fire him," and they fire him. He made the decision, so I respect that.
Did you not hear the reactions from the locker room, Najee Harris?
Of course. Oh, of course.
I mean, you can't. Something had to be done. And Mike Tomlin, he's been around long enough. He hasn't had a losing season. He knows how to control his team. He knew something had to be done. So there was no question that was the right move, and it probably should have been done sooner.
And Jake, Matt Eberflus of the Bears isn't going to go and fire the offensive coordinator. No. Like, what would happen to him? He would be gone too.
Well, he should be gone anyway. That's not the point.
Andy Reid have those kind of that kind of.
Yes, but Andy Reid's personality.
Like
Andy Reid doesn't maybe have the personality to say, "I'm going to go fire him myself."
Saying,
he talked to management. I tried to pick a guy that was intense, but like in interviews, talking to, like, he definitely seems like a more jolly, happy kind of person,
one of the
as opposed to a Bill Belichick or a Mike Tomlin who's very stern and serious all the time. That's all.
I know, Jake. I got something important to say right now. It's really important. This week, Thanksgiving week, got Black Friday on Friday, which is synonymous for the best deals in the world.
Yep.
You know who is right now?
A lot of people, but who?
MyBookie.ag. They're giving you 110% right now. If you sign up before Sunday using code Sideline, they're going to give you 110% deposit match bonus. So last week it was only 50%. Next week it'll be 50%. So if you're on the fence saying, what do I need to do? Go to MyBookie.ag. Maybe, watch what I do on Twitter because I'm on fire right now. But don't worry about that part. Go to MyBookie.ag. Use code Sideline and get that 110%.
Hey, JB, you know what? I'm not too good at math, but you know what? If I did that, if I'm really bad at gambling, I could lose half my money and still have the money I put in.
That's
exactly.
Isn't that? See, that's some gazintas.
I like the way you look at that, Dave.
That's an offensive lineman.
Thinking,
That's an offensive lineman telling you.
That's what I'm thinking right there. I mean, for those of you going, man, I don't know, I'm not really good at gambling. Well, you can lose half your money and still be even.
That sounds good to JB.
If someone likes to gamble, let me tell you, the more bets you have, the better chance you have of finally hitting one.
Yeah,
so, JB, are you betting on any Charleston, Chattanooga, or whatever the heck this week?
No, tonight
100%.
is a much different night. We're watching the Tennessee-Purdue game, We're against Tennessee as usual. We bet against Tennessee against Georgia in college football last week. We got Purdue over Tennessee. I can't stand Purdue, but I like muddy, so we're going to go with Purdue.
So do you make
Doesn't
any
Purdue have a
in-game-
guy like 8 feet tall?
They got a big dude playing center. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they've come up with them the last couple of years. They find these cats that are like 7+, and they can move and play basketball. Hey, and another point about my bookie, like for me, I'm in California. I can't do online gambling, but I can with my bookie. .ag.
Yes.
I can get
That's
in
an
there,
excellent
and I've hit some prop bets. I'm having a blast. I'm learning how to bet. I still don't know what a teaser is, but I do know how to bet the line, and I know how to bet odds. And the prop bets are easy. And you know what? If you just don't even know what that is, you just want to bet squares like you do on the Super Bowl. Everyone has a blast with that. You can do that on my bookie too. So
that's for any game.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
but
always
speaking of
taking-
perfect, like my bet.
Speaking of perfect, look at the segue.
Speaking of
So
perfect,
good.
They're talking about a guy in the MVP race, Brock Purdy. He was perfect on Sunday.
So I'm not gonna point out the person, but I've heard it on this show. He's not a very good quarterback.
Hey, he got he got all of his weapons back, and conveniently he forgot. He remembered
my
how to play
God.
football.
No, so hold on, John. Hold on.
I don't care. I
Let
do
Dave
not
finish
care.
this point because I think I know where he's
I
going.
do
with
not
this.
care what you remember or what you don't remember. A perfect quarterback rating is not easily attained, and I'll tell you, the kid had a little bit of a stumbling block, and I don't know of any great quarterback that hasn't stumbled. But a sign of a great quarterback is to bounce back and come back when you do get those weapons, when you have the confidence back in you. And I just said he's stumbling. And I've said this, it'll be a tell to see how he does after having some rough spots, because he hadn't had any rough spots. He's done nothing but win.
Yeah.
So now he had a couple of deals and has some turnovers and some issues where people are starting to point at him. And look what he does. He gets his confidence back. He goes out and gets a perfect passer rating in a big game where they needed a win. I think he's got a great future. I really do.
Yeah, and the thing that's important to John's point is he wants to poke holes in him already. It's not like he threw for like 2-3 yards every play. You do know that, right? Like he had long completions. You do like that is if you were going to sit here and say, well, he threw for 2-3 yards every time to all his playmakers, I might disagree with Dave.
Well, Brandon Ayuk does a good job of carrying him.
Okay, then how would you like to explain his 20+ yard pass, like right at the beginning of the game? It was his second pass, I think, or his first pass. It was 20-something yards to George Kittle. Would you like to explain that to me?
Well, George Kittle's just an animal.
But you have to make a good pass to complete it, don't you?
Not necessarily. Eli Manning used to hit slants to OBJ, and then he would take it to the house.
But hold on.
His numbers go up. Yards per attempt go up.
But if you watched the game and you know the pass was a long pass. It wasn't just like a little dunk, here you go. It's a long pass completed. There's a very big difference. You can poke holes you want, but last time I checked, the last quarterback to do this was who was it, Dave? That the last in 49ers history? Could you remind me? Because I know you know this.
Montana, pretty good guy.
And Steve Young, I believe it was the same season. Actually, they both did.
No, just Joe.
All right,
Young was
so it was just Joe. Okay, so the broadcast was just
okay. So Steve Young, in my opinion, was not a great. I mean, he was okay. He was a great quarterback.
He also had a
global quarterback, good scrambler.
Yes, but that pass.
I thought they mentioned on the broadcast, so I
think he did because I think I tweeted it.
But either way, it doesn't really matter because Joe Montana is in the conversation, and I don't think anybody's going to argue that Joe Montana is just some garbage quarterback that had good talent around him because he had Jerry Rice, and you're not going to sit and argue that.
He really did.
He did have a lot of
but you're not going to sit here and
he
tell
had
me
a
he was
great coach.
Hold on. But you're not going to tell me that's why he was a good quarterback, is what I'm saying.
Right.
When he went to Kansas City, he was certainly a talented quarterback then as well, and his talent was not nearly the same.
No, and he didn't win a Super Bowl there, did he?
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about perfect passer rating. We're talking about individual game performances.
I was just asking you a question.
That's not what I'm talking about, though. So I can ask you about who ever had a perfect game, but he hasn't. So, we're just going to compare random things here. That's totally fine.
He didn't win a Super Bowl with Kansas City when he lost talent.
Well, neither have your quarterbacks recently. So what's your point? Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl. You want to go there?
Oh, well, we're not talking Dolphins.
So it doesn't matter. So let's stay on topic. The point is, you can't argue that he's not a great quarterback, just like you can't argue Brock Purdy's not a great quarterback for doing that. Nobody else is just lighting it up doing that. I don't see Tua, the amazing quarterback that he is, doing that last time I checked.
Listen,
I don't see
Purdy
Dak doing that, who's playing really well. I don't see, Mahomes
not everybody
doing
gets to
that.
play Tampa Bay.
Listen,
Do
Purdy
you have
is
any logical arguments, or you want to just give me baloney?
I was just pointing it
So
out.
not other teams play Tampa Bay. Anyway, Purdy had a 148.9 rating the week before, is the youngest ever with 2 consecutive starts above 145. So last time I checked, was it, everyone else that's a quarterback in the league are the great ones right now, once younger than Purdy when they started. So that's pretty impressive, John. You can say his weapons all you want, That's pretty impressive.
Flawed argument
Conveniently,
by a man that's upset that his quarterback can't be this good.
Conveniently, those are the 2 weeks that he got all of his weapons back.
Conveniently, John, why hasn't your quarterback done it with such great weapons?
Oh, we're not talking about my quarterback.
You want to talk about conveniently this, conveniently that. I want to hear your excuse because you think Tua is better than Purdy, but Purdy clearly just played much better.
I don't think that's a conversation.
I'm just asking you a question. I'm just asking you a question.
Clearly, Tua.
Why hasn't Tua done it? No, that's not the question. Why hasn't Tua done it? Why hasn't Mahomes done things like this? I go down the list. Like, why are these guys not doing it against bad defenses?
I mean,
that's right. Because good quarterbacks do these things, and you can't really just start discounting because he's got great weapons.
I mean, Kevin Cobb.
We use logical arguments in this.
Kevin Cobb threw 7 touchdowns in a game. Where's he at?
That's fantastic. And guys have great games. But Brock Purdy's consistently doing it.
Have great games.
And Brock Purdy's doing it consistently. So you cannot take a 1-game sample size and just throw it out the window and pretend like it means nothing. When you do it consistently, it doesn't really mean, he got lucky.
Sample size. That's all what I need to see.
Really? I've seen Brock Purdy over a full season's plus.
He's
been pretty good. I think he's a pretty good quarterback.
You're never going to convince me that he is.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to have you make a logical argument because I don't appreciate somebody who never played quarterback just pooping on a guy that is pretty good.
You don't know I didn't play QB, but Raphael's here.
John, I've seen your size. You'd probably get squashed with a little bug.
John is running with the Raphael's here comments. Let's bring on.
He's scared. No, because he's scared because he knows I'm right.
Thank you, Raphael, for showing up.
I am here.
That's great news.
What's going on, gentlemen?
All right, Raph, can you come save John from his bad arguments? He thinks you're here to help.
I wasn't. No offense, I wasn't paying attention. I'm trying to finish the NFL Thanksgiving betting prop bets for tonight. So,
look at that, John. He can't save you after.
You know what? So Thanksgiving. I saw the the Cowboys are playing the Redskins. I'm sorry, man, but that's Thanksgiving. It was always the Redskins and the Cowboys, and it was the Bears and the Lions. And those were back in the ancient days of when I was young and watching. That was just Thanksgiving football. Now we got the Packers and the Lions, which that's going to be cool. It's kind of the same thing a little bit, but I just love the Bears and Lions. I love the Cowboys and the Indians, whatever But that's what when you're a kid. That's why I looked at it, right? It was just that's kind of what it was. But another pretty neat matchup is that Niners and Hawks on a Thanksgiving. I don't think we've ever done anything like that. That's a great matchup.
No, they had a Thursday night game. I think this is the 3rd year of a Thanksgiving football. And don't forget the Egg Bowl on Thursday as well. But I agree. I think San Francisco, Seattle. I mean, we still know about Geno Smith, and Seattle's probably going to miss a lot of people in this game. So it's not going to be. I mean, that's why the number is probably going to be 7.5 by kickoff on Thanksgiving. I just want to know, okay, JB, John, Jake, and Dave, what time do you guys eat Thanksgiving?
All day long.
I have multiple meals.
All day.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Let me rephrase this. What time does the whole family sit down together and eat their meal?
3 p.m.
I was going to say between 2:30, 3 o'clock usually. It depends on where the football game's at. We kind of.
I would say about 12:30, right when the first game kicks off.
Oh my god,
But that's Thanksgiving.
Wow,
lunch.
that's early.
That's
Well,
lunch.
I have multiple meals, so I start then, and then at like
you're
3
weird.
o'clock, I dive back in my
So the whole family diving in.
The whole family sits down for lunch.
Why not? It's Thanksgiving. You're supposed to eat all day.
All day.
Yeah, but you don't have to eat lunch for
What are you
Thanksgiving.
going to do at lunch, Jake? Eat a burrito
skip
or
lunch.
Nothing. You skip lunch and wait.
No, you eat all day.
You got to put on your eating pants and you got to get ready. That's what I'm doing at 12:30.
Your belly so you can eat all day long.
I don't eat all day long. I work all day long, so I
you work.
No, you know what I do? You know what I'm doing
meal.
at 12:30, John? I'm getting ready. I'm putting on my pants. I'm going to play a little football probably before I eat. Then I'm going to get ready to watch the games with the family. You know, doing all the activities before I eat, because once I eat, there's no chance I'm getting off that couch.
Oh, I can eat then go play football. I mean, look at my physique.
You have fun with that. You might get killed out there.
I could probably say I've never played football on Thanksgiving.
Really?
No.
Yep. No.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, we don't go crazy, but like we get a little.
For the past 20 years, I've been in this industry, so Thanksgiving has been a work day. So it's not like I'm gonna be, hey, let's go throw the ball around before we go eat. I'm like, oh crap, I still got to do halftime props and the stupid egg bowl, and there's a Maui Invitational college basketball game, and there's Alaska shootout that starts at 11:45 at night.
Well, see, and on the West Coast, games start like at 9 or 10.
Yep.
So we're not out there, getting up at the crack of dawn to go play some football.
Why not? Well, you're a former athlete. Why wouldn't you?
Because I don't want to. It's
no. Dave, you know why? Because he said a very important word: former. You're not a current, former.
Yeah.
I'm not
now
even
you
a
get to
former
relax
athlete.
and enjoy
I'd
your life.
be out there that
and
early.
I get up at 9 o'clock. I'm down with the eggs and bacon and watching the pregame for the first game, and I'm literally on the couch all day just watching football, loving it.
Because that's how Thanksgiving's meant to be.
Love that evening game because then you don't feel like you have to go do something. In the past there's those 2 games and then there's nothing, and then you gotta go talk to family.
Black Friday used to be
third game. Don't gotta talk to you.
Don't talk to me. I'm busy.
Yeah.
There's college.
That's what the NBA then was done great. NBA Christmas from like the time you wake up till the time you go to bed. You don't got to worry about talking to family. Just watch basketball. The NFL learned.
You got BYU Arizona State that starts at 11 midnight Eastern Standard Time on Thanksgiving.
JB, it's funny you say that though, because I was just talking to my parents today, and I said to my mom, because my dad loves football, mom hates it. I said to her, I said, I'm watching football all day Thursday. You're welcome to join us on the couch. You know what she says to me? No, thanks. I said, it's fine by me. I know who I'm sitting with. I'll have all the people that want to watch with me sitting there. Anybody that doesn't want to watch, go right away. I won't talk to you most of the day. And that's always how it should be.
12:30 drops, you have 2 plates.
You sit there, you catch up, you talk football, you eat. And those that don't want to, you go do your own thing.
You have your plates ready by 12:30, so that way that one in each hand, you're ready to just chow down as the game starts.
You go at halftime.
But okay,
Dave told us well.
Dave would agree with me in this one. I 110% agree with Tom Brady said today about NFL being mediocre. Sunday's NFL games that were on TV was unwatchable. This league, I watched more college basketball on Sunday. The Cleveland Browns Pittsburgh game was pathetic, unwatchable. The Bears' second half time management was pathetic, unwatchable. I'm sorry, Tom Brady hit it on. This is not the NFL that Dave.
No, the Chargers defense is unwatchable. I watched a guy hit another player with his shoulder pad into his chest, and they threw a flag.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not what I grew up watching. This is not the NFL. This is Powder Puff. I can't believe that we're jonesing 365 days a year for this Powder Puff, no fun league, unwatchable sport.
Yeah,
Ralph, it's like I can't believe it's not butter. Instead, it's I can't believe this is called football.
Well, the Grey Cup was outstanding on Sunday. No one watched.
Tell me if you agree or disagree with this. Like the Kareem Jackson hit, I didn't think that was a bad hit on Dobbs. He hit him in the chest. He was a runner.
I agree.
He hit him in the chest, not in the helmet. He didn't go for the neck. He didn't go for anywhere above the shoulders. He went right here in the chest. He was
They don't care.
That's a perfectly legal hit. If that's 2005, everybody's going crazy. That's jacked him up or whatever it's called on ESPN, jacked up.
Yeah.
How could we be so pumped for watching football all day Thursday when the product they're giving us on TV
you can't hit
is
anybody,
not the product?
Raphael. You can't hit
I know.
anybody.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying, how are we fans of a sport be so excited to watch it when they're downgrading it and make us look stupid and dumb for us watching it for the rules that they do?
I'll tell you why.
We're human beings, and we remember what was, and we remember what was, and the good old days and how great it was, and we just keep hoping that it's great again.
You know what it also is, though?
And then we get disappointed at the end of the day. We complain about it, and we come back on Sunday, and we remember what it was.
I watched more of the CFL, the Grey Cup, and college basketball after. I couldn't finish
watching Dave over there.
It's not just that, Dave, though. It's because we bet on it and we play fantasy football and we do all those things that force us to watch the games every time. That is why I watch half the games, because I am playing fantasy football and I have meaningless games that I now have to watch and care about because I want to beat another person in a made-up game. Yeah. That's why.
You know what?
Or JB Stacey likes to bet.
That's why I don't play fantasy football, because I did it once, and I remember I was coming home from somewhere, and I'm scrolling through AM radio just to hear how my receiver was doing. Listening to this scratchy game, and I couldn't. And he got to catch. I was all excited, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm way too competitive. Hey, Raphael, I have a question though. Something that came up, and this was interesting to me. And you're in Vegas, so you would know the answer. Formula One. Why was the race at midnight?
Because they didn't want for the traffic on the strip to be less impacted, and so the co-workers and all them could get out and stuff like that. And then the time zone difference from where it is, but mostly because of the people don't understand the amount of people that work on the Vegas Strip. So if you had it on a normal Saturday, let's say 4 o'clock, how would shift changes and stuff like that? It would never have worked.
See, I thought maybe because Formula One is so popular in Europe and other places other than here that it was more of a time zone thing.
It was
viewership is, because otherwise it's in the middle of the night and where it's more popular than it is here. As far as the race is concerned,
it was, but they also wanted the Vegas lights to be in the race.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to say, so they had to do after what? What time does it get dark in Vegas? Like 5:36?
After time change, probably like around like 5. Yeah, about 5:30.
So they had to put it after that anyway. And then, I mean, the other thing, though, I mean, I was in Vegas, Ralph, you know that. And, for what? I was in October and I saw them building everything.
Oh, it was a wreck.
I tried we tried driving through it. I love the idea of it. Like, I think it's a really cool concept. But if you live in Vegas, and I know other people besides, you, Ralph, that do, like, we had people that we were just I was in Orlando with. They're like, no, I'm waiting till the race is over because the traffic is so horrible. The traffic on the strip is bad. I like the idea, but this was just such a poorly thought out plan. I'm sorry for anybody that lives in Vegas. Like, this was horrible.
It was, and people didn't like it, but you have to think about it. Formula One paid the state of Nevada $1 billion.
Oh, of course.
So,
yeah,
$1 billion. $1 billion.
Billion with a B.
A billion with a B.
And you know what my favorite part of that was, though, Ralph? I was by the Venetian at a restaurant. You'd probably know it because obviously you know the area. I was at Gillies, the barbecue restaurant. Yeah, we were over there and we were talking to the waitresses when I was in Vegas, and they said, and this was not surprising, but it just makes you think about how much money this stuff brings in. The restaurants had to pay a fee to not have a curtain put over their restaurant, so their patrons inside and or their restaurant could either see the races or have their restaurants be advertised during the races. So if they didn't pay, they were like, they had big trust systems put up that they just put a curtain down and said, "Oh, too bad. We're just going to cover you up. It's like you're not even there." And they're going to advertise their own stuff. I mean, the state of Nevada and the city of Vegas are laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, and the amount of money of the people that were there, just from the people that I know that work at the Cosmopolitan, the table dealers and all that. One night, I think it was Friday night, someone dropped $1 million tip I think it was the craps table. So that means each dealer on the table that day got I think this is a five figure tip walking home.
Oh my God.
Wow.
For working an 8-hour shift. That's not counting. That's not counting their tips they probably got for the rest of the day or stuff like that. That was just
their salary that they get anyway.
When you bring in Formula One, you bring in Monte Carlo money. You know, I mean, that's
foreign money. It's all foreign money. It's not U.S. money. It's all foreign money.
If you guys ever just looked at a parking lot in Monte Carlo, yeah. You don't even roll up in a Benz there. You know, it's like, okay, put that in the back.
you roll up and you see like 100 others. You're like,
no,
okay,
you don't even
this is
see a
nothing
Benz
special.
there. No. That's self parking. That's self parking. Sorry.
Since I'm on the show and we're talking about football and all that, I want to leave you guys with some of the prop bets that you guys were getting in your emails for Thanksgiving games only.
Ooh,
the highest scoring game on Thanksgiving. This is the only NFL to 3 games. Over under 54.5 points scored.
Mm-hmm.
Niners.
Well, wait, that's on there. The lowest points scored on those 3 games is over under 14.5 points.
Oh, I thought we were guessing the game.
No, this is just the odds that I'm putting out.
Yeah, I thought so too.
No.
I thought so too, and I was like, I'd like to guess this.
Okay. Here we go. Highest team total points on Thursday. Dallas is plus 120. San Francisco's 2-1. San Francisco's 3-1. Green Bay's 14-1. Seattle 18-1, and Washington is 20-1. Who do you guys got?
Dallas.
Hawks.
Washington.
Wow, 18-1 for the Hawks.
Washington's defense is so bad.
Hey, what did we just talk about? Half the money's not even mine. Half the money's not. I'm going 18-1. I can lose and still be ahead of the game. I love this.
I think I got to go Dallas. It was between Dallas and the Niners.
San Fran.
I like the Seattle defense a little too much.
I would say, Washington's defense. That's why I made it get the Dallas. But like I said, this is
of course.
This is the stuff
that's the safe bet.
This is the stuff I'm putting out while we're discussing a bad product on TV, like Tom Brady said. And I totally agree with him.
But you're part of the problem. You make it watchable with all these great props.
No, I'm not.
You're an enabler.
I am not the league of these horrible rules. I would make more people on the team, so you can have so when a star's out, you can produce maybe another star that we don't know. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. No one knew about this other running back, and now he's So if you add more people to the team and a star gets hurt or another guy gets hurt, you may find a gem that's been sitting in your practice squad for 3 years, but now you added more team to your roster. It's playing. It might
hey guys, I don't know if you remember this back in the 80s.
I was not alive.
These 3 weren't even born yet, Dave.
Not alive.
Okay, so then let me enlighten you then. All right. So back in the day, before the owners and everybody limited the number of players that could be brought in, they limited the draft. They limited the number of.
Was this when the dinosaurs still roamed the earth?
Can I finish my thought here, Jake? Is that the Cowboys would literally fly in like 120 players, and they would have their scouts at the airport. And the reason I know this is because it happened to 2 guys I know. They'd have their scouts at the airport. They'd watch the cats get off the plane, and they'd look at them, and look them up and down and say, "Here's your ticket. We're good." And send them right back home. That's a long day, man. But they would bring in so many guys, and they would just to Raphael's point, how many guys they'd be able to see. But now they limit how many guys can come into camp, and they cut them down so fast. Guys aren't really getting a real fair share, a fair tryout. So. Anyhow, there's some enlightenment to how things used to be, and back when football was great.
Were these 3 weren't a glimmer in their parents' eyes yet?
I like it. Raphael's making me younger by the minute here. I love it.
I know.
It's the beard, JB. It's I would imagine it's the beard. You look younger with the beard.
I like it. I don't mind. But I don't know.
So what
Raphael, what are
go on.
the odds of Brock Purdy being MVP right now? Because there was a lot of talk about that today.
There shouldn't be.
I don't buy it.
There shouldn't be.
I agree, but
he had a couple bad
with
games.
you.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You know,
Well, John's idea. John thinks he's in line for it. So
he's 12-1 right now.
All right, so there's some value if you go to.
That's not a horrible.
That's not.
But Hurts, Jackson, Mahomes, Tua, and Prescott all have better odds than him.
Myles Garrett should have better odds.
Prescott
should.
I'm sorry, but hold on. Legit question: is Tyreek Hill on that list above Dak? I don't think I heard you say his name.
Tyreek Hill's 50-1
He's not a quarterback.
Yeah, but I know that, and that was the
point. A receiver's not going to get MVP.
Nobody but a QB.
Point.
Well, then why name it MVP then? Just name it regular season quarterback award.
That was the point I wanted to make. God. Again, all defeat.
Well, again, it's bad product. It's bad product.
What's
on
a
TV.
catch?
We can't even name an award correctly.
What's a catch? When you can tell me what a catch is, we can get to the product on TV. Nobody knows what a catch is, so
Des doesn't know.
I mean,
but hold on, that was the whole thing I was getting at, which is Dak, who's had what, like 4 good games in a row. That's it. Has better odds than
Dak is. You have to agree. You have to.
No, I know it's because he's a quarterback, but I'm just making a point.
Quarterback. Dallas Cowboys probably get as much amount of money bet on them as almost as a Green Bay Packers.
But I'm just saying, like,
Dak Prescott is 12-1 because of money, not because how many good games he has, not because of his last name and first name. It's all about money.
The other point is he's a quarterback. I was just picking him out of like all the guys you mentioned because he's the most disappointing of all of them. The fact that he has better odds than the best receiver in the NFL right now is just beyond me. Like he doesn't even deserve consideration.
I mean, there's politics to this stuff too, though.
I know there is. So that's my point.
Raphael, like, there's guys that could win the MVP every year, and they don't because there's voter fatigue. Like, there's politics to this stuff. There's, you know what I mean? It's not straight. This guy should win it. There's more to all these.
I think there's more voter fatigue in the NBA than there is in the NFL because like you said, NFL knows it's only quarterback and quarterback only.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
NBA, LeBron James and Michael Jordan should have the most MVP awards as they're playing, and they don't. So, but I would say
it's just like
the NFL.
It's the same reason Shohei Ohtani hasn't won every single year. Or Nikola Jokic hasn't won every single.
In baseball, they normally don't give MVP awards to sub 500 or even worse than sub 500. I mean, Andre Dawson was probably the rarest one when he won it for the Cubs. But that's why Shohei Ohtani didn't get it. It's because
but Jake is right. I mean, because of the WAR that he's going to produce, if he pitched every year full season and batted, he would win it every year because of the WAR he produces on pitching and batting combined. Like, you can't compete with that because nobody else is a two-way player.
Yeah, so, I mean, the only reason why Judge won it over him because he hit
62
home runs. Big deal. Yeah. I mean, Ohtani was pitching and batting and playing the field most of the time. When Judge was most of the time,
nobody can.
But Raphael, is Ohtani going somewhere?
If he takes a short deal, which I'm hearing he doesn't mind doing a 3-year deal, then I think the Angels have a really live shot at keeping him. If he goes 5-year plus, then I think there's only 3 teams or 4 teams. It's Dodgers, Cubs, Giants, and Mariners.
So let me ask you this: is that report real? Where if somebody leaks anything about where he might go, then he's going to hold that against them? Like, is that real?
Yes, that's not him. That's Japan and China, and that's the Middle East or not the Eastern. How they do their contracts there in baseball. Like if you're in a Tsugi Giants and stuff like that, and they find out you're leaking somewhere to go to another team, they don't go. They're really really strict on privacy and stuff like that. That's just
right. It's honor.
It's honor and respect.
Thank you, Dave. It's all about honor.
Yeah.
I've never heard that really in like over here in contract negotiations, you know, because you always hear
because there is no honor here.
You know, it's all fair in love and war.
Watch the Tom Selleck baseball movie when he was in Japan playing baseball. It's all about honor and respecting that hat that you put on that jersey. It has nothing to do about
the game.
So
yeah,
so it's more of that, and then I'm not. If the Dodgers leak it, I'm coming. I'm not going there. It's more Dave hit it right on the nail.
Let me ask you this.
Speaking of, hang on one second, Jake. Speaking about honor and respect, I respect your right to get 110% of your money this week only at mybookie.ag using code Sideline. This is unheard of. Listen, you can go to other sites. No one's giving you $1,100 when you put $1,000 in. It's not going to happen. So go to mybookie.ag, use code Sideline. There's 3 football games Thursday. There's college basketball. Raphael said it's at midnight. The Alaska shootout, right? Listen, if you're up late,
it's in Vegas. If it's Vegas, I'll be at that game.
Oh, it's in Vegas at midnight. Come on, $1,150 to bet.
I won't be able to jump on my booking bet because I'm not allowed to. But I would highly recommend. And like I said, there's early Friday games too. Black Friday, we have college football on Friday. One lonely NFL game. Why I don't understand why is there an NFL game on Friday. I'm sorry, college football will probably outdo that game on Friday.
It's a dumb idea, but
especially because it's on Amazon Prime. Forget it. That nobody wants to watch those games to begin with. Anyway, but I wanted to ask
mybookie.ag code Sideline. Jake, your question?
Yeah, no, we were talking about honor, and this is just your opinion, or if you know something, Raf, you can always tell us. But I don't want to get in trouble. Do you think there's maybe a little more motivation for Shohei to go back to the Angels because of that honor? Like, hey, this was the team that I signed with originally, right? I have given them my everything. They want me back if they offer them the right deal. You think maybe there's just a smidge, I'm not saying a large chance, but 1-2% extra chance that he would go back to the Angels because of that whole honor, that whole philosophy, if you will?
I can see that, but most of the people that he was there, besides the owner, are no longer there. His hitting coach, pitching coach, got a new head coach again.
What about his teammates?
The only one I know he does respect Trout, and I heard that they're dangling Trout. The Phillies could be picking up Mike Trout in the trade, so keep an eye out for that. I think there's just too many grumblings in the Angels organization, but I'm also hearing that he really doesn't want to go to that big high market. I think that's where the Yankees are not even in a talk anymore, or the Mets.
And he wants to stay on the West Coast, correct?
That's why I don't think the Yankees are ever interested.
That's why I don't think the Dodgers could be that spot for him. I would not be shocked if it's the Giants, Seattle, or the Cubs. Why would you want to go to the Dodgers where it's the limelight? That's not him. He's not that limelight type of. That's why he likes LA. He's not that big limelight person.
Yeah, big fish, little pond.
Yeah. That's fair. But I will say, and maybe he's not seeing it the way I see it, and it's just my opinion, I think wherever he goes, the market's going to just increase because of him. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but like Seattle, those games are going to fill out every game if he's there. And I understand, like, the capacity is smaller compared to, let's say, the Dodgers, and the city is very different. But you know what I mean? Like, I think he's got to just remember, like, no matter what, the capacity is going to be filled out, and the limelight is going to be on him because
I can tell you this,
so incredible.
I can tell you this, guys, what I've seen over the past couple of years by going to Angels games. And for those of you that watch Angels games, you might see me once in a while. I'm in the dugout, the suite right next to the Angels dugout that my buddy owns. It's really pretty cool. But watching this transition of jerseys, it used to be just Trout. That was it. I almost said Trump. It's always been no. I mean, it's like 100% Trout, and then maybe some of the old cats, But it has transitioned, and it is. If it's not 50-50, it's really close, and maybe even a little bit more Ohtani of jerseys and memorabilia. When you see the guys, the fans walking around, he's really taken over. He's very endearing to the fans. I mean, what's not to like, And he's a humble guy. He's quiet. Maybe he's humble because we don't know what the heck he's saying, and he doesn't speak a whole lot of English. So, but he just does his job. He smiles. He has fun, and he goes out there and does his job, and he does it extremely well. And I think that Trout's a lot like that too. You know, there's not a whole lot of fanfare with Mike Trout, man. He just goes out there and grinds, but his injuries have kind of
class act.
Yeah, injuries have kind of held him back the last few years from being that dude. And so now the Angels fans have somebody really to climb onto. But you're right, Jake, that no matter where he goes, he's going to be endearing to the fans, and it's going to be great for the market. You know, just like that new coach for the Colorado team. You know that guy,
Deion Sanders.
Well, I'll say this right here. There's Ohtani is probably the only person in sport that I would not mind if that organization gave him $1 billion, because they're gonna make that money. Maybe not the Angels because they've had him. They keep getting out. I mean, people already have the jerseys already. I mean, you can only do so much. But if the Dodgers, the Mariners, the Cubs, the Giants, if they gave him $1 billion, they would make that money in 1 year flat. Put money in your back.
I don't argue that.
No,
he's the only. And name me another athlete in any other sport that can do that right now. I can't think of one. $1 billion.
Tommy DeVito.
Who's that?
Come on, Tommy DeVito.
Jake's next door neighbor.
You mean from
I'm
Texas?
pretending you didn't say that.
Yeah, Twins.
I can't think of anybody.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, maybe even the Angels too, just because then they locked him up. You know, I mean, I know a lot of fans don't like buying jerseys because they're like, man, is this cat going to be here next year? You know, I don't want to buy a jersey of someone that isn't going to be around. Free agency has changed so much.
Matt said it's not worth the money. Well, baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so
just a luxury tax.
It's different than the NFL. The NFL has a salary cap that.
And Tom Brady didn't. Tom Brady just played one position.
Yeah,
and 1 day out of a week. Ohtani's playing 5 days a week, sometimes pitching and batting the same day. So Ohtani put Tom Brady can't even wear Ohtani's underwear.
Yep.
Well, we're just about out of time.
Well, Mahomes only wears one pair of underwear, evidently. So
that's true.
Apparently,
we're talking underwear. What are the odds on that?
Before we go, I just want to say I'm thankful for all you guys and the great work here at Sideline Sports, going on 10 GPN, WDJY in Atlanta, DBTV, NFL Alumni, which I know is going under a new name soon.
It's Alumni Media Network.
We're thankful for them as well, but it's been great. Go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to say, I'm thankful not only for you guys on this panel, but all our viewers, subscribers, supporters, and I was saving it to the end. So thank you for the good transition, JB. Our YouTube channel hit 2,000 subscribers. So that's a great milestone. So we're thankful to all those that subscribe to the channel and have been with us. A lot of you have been with us since day one. So, we appreciate your continued support, not just there, but obviously across all our different channels. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. I mean, we say it all the time, but this is like the best show ever. I mean,
what more could you want? I'm thankful for thumbs. That way I can eat turkey.
All right, guys.
You don't need thumbs, just your mouth.
I'm eating mine.
I'm thankful you don't have to hear where you can hear us. Find us all. But we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you.